Can't talk that.
No.
None of us claim it.
No. I Lucian.
No, nobody speaks like the Queen unless nobody speaks like the Queen. Unless you're part of that kind of society.
I got new music in my hands here.
There you go.
New music. We all know the really old great stuff, but I got lots of new music here by Omar, the man. And these are the rest of them man. The other man and them, right?
The man with the man.
I mean, this is awesome. I can't wait to listen to
There's
the entire
a new one
thing.
coming out soon as well. I'm just finishing off.
What's coming out? What's it called?
It's called Love in Beats. And I'm working with my brother, the Scratch Professor. So we're just finishing off right now. So I'm very, very happy.
Okay.
So yeah.
So we're going to wait for that to drop.
New things coming out. omarmusic.co.uk.
omarmusic.co.uk.
That's it.
We got that noted. And of course I got the McCoy Family. And I love the name of this one, Noel, you know, cut from the same cloth.
Yes.
And here you are with your siblings.
Yes, title
Beautiful.
track.
Your sister and your brothers.
Yes, my brother Robin, Cornell, and my sister Jeanette. Yeah, we did this album quite a while back, and you know, through distribution problems and stuff, it didn't really come out. So we put it out in 13.
Yeah.
And the one you have there is this one is
It's
more
a special
recent.
promo.
Yeah.
25th anniversary
Yeah,
with the family.
With the family.
Yeah. So
And
how old is the youngest one?
It's Robin. So Robin's now 51.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
51.
So
But my own, I mean, we've been working on this for quite a while. But me personally, my next album is a reggae album. Because I cut my teeth in reggae.
Yeah.
At school. From
All right.
secondary school, I was in a reggae band called the Albions. We released quite a few stuff.
Yeah.
So reggae's always been in my heart, and it's taken like 40 odd years to do a reggae album. You know, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, that's cool. Did you hear Josh Stone reggaeing it up last night?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Soul Girl, I mean, I think she cut through a lot of genres. So.
Yes, yeah, new album's 80% reggae apparently.
Yeah, it's number one. Got Grammy Award.
And Junior over there is messing up Mother Said with Luciano.
Mommy used to say.
Yeah, did Mama tell you must go with Luciano back to roots?
No, I tell you what it was. I suspect what it was the roots man then figured that like there must be something about this guy because he keeps coming on.
Okay.
Right? So there must be something about him. So I think what it was also the music that I've done in the past and recent, they've been listening to. So that was a trip for me because it's, you know, like anything, when you admire musicians and they listen to your work and they're able to tell you about songs you did and ask you about things like that. And I am a great, big, large fan of Luciano. I think
Who isn't?
He's a true messenger in the timing that he gives to his songs. And when he did Mama Used to Say, right, and I was there to watch that. It was the first time in 30 odd years since that song's come out that it actually made me sit down and say, boy, it's a bit deep.
It's alright, that tune, isn't it?
It's a bit deep, that tune. It was just the way that he chose to deliver himself. And the way that people have done Mama Used to Say over the years, and it's been wonderful because obviously I from a publishing standpoint and writing what you do and whatever else, the more people that cover your music, the better, right? So we all know
Tribute
this.
to you.
But when you are fortunate enough, I think, to me, to be in the presence of artists that you know just are the real thing. It's just the real thing. And to watch that at work, and then he's taken your song, right? He writes songs, he does all of that. He's taken your song. The song in Europe that people just look at as, it's a commercial song and that's it.
Yeah.
People in Yard understand the lyrical content of something like that. Unfortunately, Lucci's son was killed a few weeks ago.
Oh, God.
And that whole thing of his son being killed and then 2 weeks later, he's prepared to come into a studio with me, right, and put down the vocal that he put down, right? Boy, we take our everything for that. That's the real thing.
Yeah.
That's the real thing.
But the thing is also because tracks like Mama Used to Say and so much of the rest of your music, which you performed last night as well, it's just timeless. And the message, particularly in Mama Used to Say, is really important for young people coming up now. There's so many, each generation has their particular challenges, you know, but there's even more now. Social media is one of the very reasons. It's a great plus, but it's also got its things that parents are having a challenge, all the gadgets and stuff, how to get the young people to stay real and connected.
A lot of the time, again, from being with Lucci, right? You know, like what we, sorry, but a bit personal, what we have going on is like what Luciana as one has got going on. There is a spiritual union between us that is untouchable and unfathomable, because I don't know how deep it's gone. If we're still here 30 years on from that period of time, it's pretty deep, James.
Yeah.
Right? You know, so there's a connection between us all, right? Which is more from a spiritual. That's why I always go back to spiritual, the song that we did.
Yes.
As the very first song.
Yeah.
Because it truly
keep that thread all the way through.
You keep
a piece of heaven.
Yes.
It's spiritual. It's like keeping. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It keeps everything on a spiritual, so that people understand that, like, if you're to move forward as anything, and you're putting yourself together as a body, right, to move forward, then everybody has to move forward with the same step, right? Because it's a union. We are going to knock down some walls. If we're not in step, we can't knock down the wall, right? I figure what we're doing is knocking down walls. In so doing, we're making young people have to look at what we're doing and saying, but wait a minute, that's some big man there. Do you know what I'm saying? And they're making better music than us. We should be ashamed of ourselves. Serious, because I'm a man. I'd like to see and hear new music.
Yeah.
I want to see the young kid who's banging. I want to hear him bang. I want to see him go the whole hog. They're not challenging. They're not fighting. There's nobody talking for that generation, right? In this time, and to me, that's frightening. I grew up with artists talking for their generation during a time, even if it came to the Vietnam War and Curtis was singing, "Well, we got to have peace."
Yes.
Right?
Marvin.
If we go through it, Marvin, what's going on?
Yeah.
We go through again and we go to Gil Scott Heroin. Did you hear what they said when they were killing people?
Heroin.
Come on, you understand? In the bottle, if we want to go there to something that people know. But I knew that from when he was talking about, did you hear what they said when people were being killed in Vietnam, and they were sending the body back and there wasn't nothing in there but coke, right? So the drugs man then, right, from Vietnam, right, and it was primarily 90%, it was 90% being the black people that they were doing it to. So a lot of history was given to me, for me to say, hold on a minute, I've got to go and read about that, I've got to go and...
music, yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas today, there ain't anything.
Yeah.
There isn't.
They gotta step up.
They've got to step up.
So recognize music is a vehicle for a message.
Come on, it's important to us
Yes.
as a people. If we don't have these kids busting through like we did,
You know, I think that's...
if we don't have these kids busting through like we did, right, then the music becomes limp. You don't get a chance to hear
It's become very linear,
Yeah.
I find, because I find when we were growing up, everyone had a different sound. When we were in the charts, and especially the 80s and stuff, everyone was so uniquely different in the visual sense. Like he'd be on one stage on same TV show, on another stage, they were completely different. They weren't copying each other. Nowadays, we can all sound like Beyonce, we can sound like Jay-Z, you can sample, everybody can get the same type of mix.
Right.
And there's not that difference in which, you were drawn to different people. You knew who played on the albums, you look at vinyl, I mean it's coming all back now, but you knew who these musicians were. You kind of embraced the music a little bit more. Everyone had a unique
There was
sound.
a lot of individual identity.
Totally,
Yes.
totally.
Now
it's
sometimes
like,
I put on the radio and
it's
I
a
can't
compilation.
distinguish between one singer and another
another
singer
singer,
because they got
yeah.
sort of stuck in a groove.
I'll show you something
And
last
they
night.
need to venture, I think, be a little more daring. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying, look at last night, for instance, right, with the British Collective, right, when Noel came out and sang, Noel's style is Noel's style.
Absolutely.
When Donny did Love Makes the World Go Round, it's within his style, and we work within that.
Yeah.
So you're learning again.
Yeah, totally.
We all know Omar. The audience were like, that's all I saw.
Yeah.
Because it was like, how are you getting all of these different
Genres,
tones?
yeah.
But it all works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they got to understand what the collective what was the definition
What's
of
the
collective?
directive?
You guys defined it on stage.
What do you think?
That's what we're.
That you brought together all these different sounds and experiences and messages and vibes and ways of communicating. Your styles are so different on stage, you know. I see you try to do a black and white to get some unity in there. You know, I saw it. Even Michael helped you out with his all white, you know. And my man evened up to his cap, you know. And Brethren here just in a mold, you know. But it worked. It worked because it caught on to the black in Donnie's outfit. I was watching you. Hello today. I mean, I got my black and white. You know? No, not really. It just worked like that. I think you're all rubbing off on me. But I think the collective concept is so meaningful. You know, when you think about, I'm just struck because usually big stars have great big egos. You know, and so to see the five of you come together as great big stars, world-known, world-renowned, international stars, and yet you jive with an ease and a joy. I watched your faces on stage last night, and you were just so happy to jive. And you know, each one who went up, I watched your faces in the back. He was extremely expressive about that, particularly, you know, like, yeah, go do your thing. For each of you when you went up. So you could see it, and then when you all came together at the end, the family together, you know, yeah, here we are, we're here. It was like we're happy to be here, and nobody was like one up in me, oh, you know, get out of me. It was, oh no, we're together, you know. It was, I'm not in front of you, I'm not behind you, I'm beside you.
We do.
So you asked me what it means to me. That I sort of thought, okay, they've come together. How they're doing this together when I read about you. But then to see you on stage, live it out, and perform it, it was real. You couldn't fake what you were doing. You know, it came across as really genuine. So hats off to you for that. And I want to know from Lee, John. Lee, what is your signature track on this new album that you put together?
Well, this has been done quite a few years. It was actually, I'm
few
proud to say,
years.
it's a jazz album,
Ooh.
which I did in France.
And
it
it's
was
double.
like jumping into the ocean. It was like a CD DVD, and I had to leave England to do it because basically there was not a platform. And I was asked, I did a TV show in London, in England, and they said, you know, we went all around and everything, and then the company saw me and they said, look, we'd love to do an album, what would you like to do?
Okay.
And one of my favorite things is jazz.
Okay.
But I didn't just want to do one-dimensional jazz. They wanted me to kind of do like a sing-along, a Sammy Davis sort of thing, and I said, that's just, I can easily do it.
Right.
But I just said, no, I wanted to do something that was where the voice is the instrument, and that's how I always see. I hear my voice as a brass instrument or a string instrument. I always feel, or percussive, that's how I see my voice. Yeah. And when we blend together, I feel it in the same sense. So when, you know, like, we have this telepathy when we're doing things, that we can ease into it, because we have Caribbean music, we have African music, we have reggae music, we have soul and R&B and gospel. That is all part of it. So in this particular album, I wanted to kind of show that, and I love instruments. I love the acoustic feel of a bass, of drums. And so I went to Rochefort, which is a small town. They're famous for a film called Mademoiselle de Rochefort, which was done in the 60s. And I went there and I thought, this is like a ghost town. People go to bed at 9, you know, and it's like, you know.
Grenada is like that, except during music festival week.
Oh, it's like that.
That's a calm down.
And it was like leaping into the ocean, because I didn't get the support in the UK, but everywhere else, and I got an award for the album. And one of the famous tracks I did, I wrote quite a lot of original stuff on it. I did a few covers. One was Strange Fruit, which was Billie Holiday number, which for me, about the hanging, which I do it in my jazz shows, because I still feel that even though, you know, times have changed, stuff, there's still a hanging going on around the world. We're still being hung. There are still situations where, as a black person, a person of color, you're still being hung. And I do it. And one of my mottos is, as the world turns, we turn it. It's up to us how we turn the world. And so for me, I'm very deep about those kind of things and expressions. So for me, jazz is an area, you know, I bring kind of that to the collective in a sense as well. So It's very different to my imagination. Imagination is a different.
Very different. You're in a different stage
zone.
of your journey now.
Well, there was always jazz in imagination,
Yeah.
in the chords and some of the structures. We just did it in a popular music way,
Yeah.
and it brought a lot to people.